recognized symbol of excellence for your entertainment.
They say the Stones to the 60s were the kings of their genre. They say Aerosmith in the 70s was the same thing. They say in the late 80s going into the 90s. Oh, pardon me. It is these boys right here, Guns N' Roses.
Welcome to Machino Music Music, the show that puts the music in Machino Music, with your host, me, Brett Strong. Today on Machino Music Music, it's Guns N' Roses album ranking. Welcome to the jungle. Good afternoon, everybody. Guns N' Roses album ranking, that's what we're doing here today. This is one I've been wanting to do for a while. Love Guns N' Roses. Very popular band. Actually, there's a lot of people who just absolutely despise this band. A lot of haters. A lot of that has to do with Axl Rose's behavior over the years. And also they're kind of considered by some that, you know, they just kind of lived off of the reputation of one great album, which we'll get to. But either way, I mean, they're just one of those bands that actually for me kind of took me a while to really get into them. It wasn't until I started really getting back into heavy metal that I started realizing they were a great band. Like, it was like, at the time, and it started to become their sort of legacy of, like, at least in the 80s and early 90s of that scene, the hair metal, glam metal, whatever you want to call it, which they were a part of, which we can get in a little bit too. They were like a second coming of the Rolling Stones. You know, it was just that kind of band that just sort of changed everything and just what was going on at the time. So, very important band. Even though they have their detractors. Not a big discography, actually. We're supposed to be getting a new album at some point. At least that's been teased. There's like new songs. They're really good. But, yeah, where's a new album? They're just touring and just, you know, playing the hits and, you know, maybe a few of these new tunes. And Axl Rose seems to have cleaned up his act a bit. He's not as much of a poop head as he was. But, so not a big discography, but a pretty great discography. So let's get right into it here. Actually, I wasn't even going to include this one because it's not technically a studio album, but I'll mention it anyway. It will be without a bottom no matter what. The album Lies. I don't even own a copy of it. But yeah, 1988. This was it has a mix of live tracks, like it's technically a live album, but apparently it's like, you know, dubbed over crowd noise. Has a song Patience on it, which is fantastic. Great song. Studio track. I mean, it's on this Greatest Hits compilation, which was massive. I remember the commercials for this was a big deal. Really good Greatest Hits. I mean, essentially, you know, which we'll get to. I don't want to mention the name of the album because you all know what it is, but I'll talk about it when I get to it. But this is a great Greatest Hits. It's great-est. Yeah, so Patience is on there in the Greatest Hits line, but it's, you know, some cool tunes on this. But I mean, kind of not technically a studio album, so. But yeah, I think it'd be at the bottom. It's good, I like it, but it's like, at the bottom. This might be controversial being at the bottom. We're going next. We're going to go Chinese Democracy. I debated putting this higher, actually. But I didn't want to be crucified too much. This is a really good album. This was like a long wait. 2008. It was like talking about for years. I remember there was like a feature in Entertainment Weekly. They were talking about like lost masterpieces, kind of like this lost media feature before the internet kind of blew up the lost media thing. And they were talking about Chinese Democracy being this, being in production at this time. Like, are we ever going to hear it? It was lost media. But we got the album in 2008. Been talked about since, like, I think it's late 90s, but definitely early 2000s. They did that song for the End of Days movie, the Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, one of the terrible Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. It wasn't actually that bad, but it was kind of forgotten Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. They did that song with, like, Oh My God for that. But not the original lineup. That's what's kind of controversial about this. Like, it's only Axl Rose. Tons of studio people. But it's good. I think there's some really good tunes on here. I would say an underrated album. The title track is great. Love the title track. Love that riff. So good. Better. That is one of my all-time favorite Guns N' Roses songs. So that's what puts this one up a bit for me. Oh, that song is so awesome. That riff. The production's maybe a little bit dated. And actually, through a lot of this, I think production's a little bit dated. Because it sounds like early 2000s production. Like early 2000s, like 2000, 2001, where you kind of got still that industrial thing going on. So that sort of like the end of the 90s crap. That kind of bleeds into this. So there's a bit of that, but Better still sounds great. And they perform that song live, or they have been performing that song live currently with enough of the original lineup. I mean, hearing Slash play that guitar solo, I mean, does he play it exact? It doesn't matter. It's cool to get, Slash playing this song. It's just really good. Dig that tune Better. Street of Dreams isn't bad. Riyadh and the Bedouins, that's a cool tune. Really dig that one. Cool riff on that. This I love. Beautiful ballad. Like, there's a couple songs in this that put this one up for me. I mean, this I love, man. That's, wow. I first heard that. The guitar solo on that. Robin Fink. Studio guy playing that. Oh, so good. Great guitar solo. Again, Slash playing it now. Does he play it exact? No, doesn't matter. It's so great. I love hearing it. Just they're playing songs from this record, and you got some, like, what's left of the original band playing. Oh, so good. So good. The song Shackler's Revenge was the first song I heard off of this, and I just thought, like, that was a song that kind of, like, that's like bad 90s, or like late 90s, early 2000s sort of industrial metal sound to that I wasn't really a big fan of when it was popular. And then here, this is 2008, and that, like, I think it was like one of the first singles released. I hated that song. Kind of grown on me now, but I remember hearing it first, like, oh god, this is what this is going to sound like. But the rest of the album is good. So, Chinese Democracy. Next up, I'm going to go the Spaghetti Incident from 1993. Kind of a difficult one because it's a covers album. It's good. A lot of people got, could they have done a full original album? Yeah. But there's some great covers on here. A lot of punk bands. A lot of bands that influenced them. Not a lot of sort of like, and a lot of very unconventional, very odd choices for songs. Like, they started off with Since I Don't Have You, which I feel people, what a horrible song to start with. I love the original. It's an old doo-wop tune by a group called the Skyliners. Love it. And also, Don McLean does a great, beautiful cover. Yeah, Don American Pie McLean. So that was my first exposure to that song, the original doo-wop and the Don McLean version. Then Guns N' Roses did a really cool cover. I really like their cover. It has that crazy video with all the supermodels and Gary Oldman. I mean, what more could you want? But yeah, love that. They do the Stooges, Raw Power, great. They do Nazareth, Hair of the Dog, which, I mean, hey, Axl Rose has a similar kind of voice to Dan McCafferty of the of Nazareth. So I think it works. It's a great song for Axl Rose to do. One of my favorite Guns N' Roses songs because I love the original Hair of the Dog, and to hear Guns N' Roses do it, great. Yeah, some really good tunes on here. At ends, actually, there's a bonus track, very controversial. They covered the song Look at Your Game Girl, which was originally done by Charles Manson. They got in a lot of trouble because that was like, oh, you're glorifying a serial killer, you're glorifying this horrible person. Well, he wasn't a serial killer, but anyway, he was a horrible person. He killed people. This horrible cult leader. You're glorifying this guy? Yeah, I guess, but you know, they did it for them because they knew it would draw heat. Controversy creates cash. Eric Bischoff quote. That's what they're going for sure. But yeah, was it a kind of and like in retrospect, a bad idea? Yeah, but I kind of dig that they did it. I mean, my dark sense of humor, I totally get it. You know, the Manson song actually isn't too bad. He was almost a monkey. He apparently, as legend has it, urban legend, Charles Manson auditioned to be one of the monkeys. And they turned him down. He was a failed magician. He was a failed musician. I guess if he was a failed magician, you know, he could have made himself disappear before we ever found out who he was. But he was a failed musician, and that was like, to hell with this. He went and killed people, or you know, not good. Became a cult leader. But enough about that son of a bitch. I really like this album, Spaghetti Incident, or Spaghetti Incident, because it has a question mark. Incident? So yeah, that's where the Spaghetti Incident ranks for me. Next up, I'm going to go Use Your Illusion 2 from 1991. We have, of course, the Use Your Illusion albums, which are like released on the same day. Infamous. This is probably the legend of these albums, probably more famous than the albums themselves. Released 2 albums on the same day, so many songs, and there's the blue cover, this one, and then there's a red cover, which we still have to get to. Got to be patient, people. But yeah, this one, it's got some great tunes on it. But it's like, that's the thing with the Use Your Illusion. Like, they could have been one album. Like, did it really have to be 2? I guess you have so many songs, but you know, you gotta kill your babies sometimes. It's like making a movie. I know all about this. You know, that scene's okay, but you know, compared to everything else, it kind of sucks. You know, you gotta kill it. Take it out to the barn and, you know, put a gun to its head. You gotta sacrifice sometimes. That was horribly dark. I apologize for anybody who, you know, might be triggered by that. But yeah, Civil War, great tune. One of my favorite Guns N' Roses songs. That song still holds up. Whoa! Like all the wars going on, all this like oh man. I listened to that song, hadn't listened to it in a while. Listened to it during the lockdown and George Floyd stuff going on, and I was just like, whoa. Like you can learn a lot from songs and like history, and just like seeing how history just repeats itself, and just how like it's just an endless cycle. It's a snake eating its own tail. Like, wow. Incredible song. Yeah. Oh, wow. Still holds up, and it's a frightening song to listen to now when you realize that we're kind of doing the same thing. Yeah. Yesterday's Knocking on Heaven's Door, Bob Dylan cover, really good. Dig that one. That one still plays on the radio. Get in the Ring is a cult favorite. Guns N' Roses fans, I dig that tune. It's one of the first ones. Oh, you gotta hear Get in the Ring. It's the best song. I dig it. I think maybe by the time, you know, I actually kind of like got around to like getting into this album and sort of hearing that song, because I'd heard the legend of a lot of these, especially this one, because the blue Use Your Illusion 2 was not as available and as hyped as the red one, which we'll get to. Just be patient, okay? So I kind of came around to this one a bit late, I will admit. But I'd heard, like, Get in the Ring, it's such a great song. So I guess by the time I, like, got around to hearing it, I was kind of like, okay. It was, like, a bit overhyped for me. But it's a great tune. You Could Be Mine from Terminator 2, one of my favorite Guns N' Roses tunes. So good. Dig that. Now, I should say, I'm not sure what I can show in the way of clips. I mean, I'd love to show a clip from a music video or something, but I gotta say, I'm not sure what I'm able to show in the way, like, clips-wise for a Guns N' Roses show, because they're one of those bands that if you play, like, any of their songs, like, on YouTube, like, you're gonna get banned. Your channel's gonna get taken down. You're out of here. You're gone. So, I mean, I can't have that happen. This is all I'm qualified to do. So I don't know how to do anything else. So I can't lose this channel, even for a band that I absolutely love. As much as I love showing clips here, I don't think I can do it. So you're just gonna have to watch me ramble and just show album covers. That's all you got. And look at this picture of the band here. But yeah, You Could Be Mine, so good. They have a different version of Don't Cry on here with alternate lyrics. And I guess maybe that's I kind of don't like to just repeat songs. I mean, it's like, really? Just like, it's not, you don't need two different versions of the same song. But, you know, some good tunes on here. Kind of, yeah, I like Use Your Illusion 2. But we're in the top 2, everybody. And these could flip-flop. This might be controversial. I mean, I don't know. I kind of, maybe I just don't want to go along with the herd, okay? I don't want to be like everybody else. So I'm going to put Appetite for Destruction, which I think is a perfect album. I'm putting it in number 2 spot. I mean, again, these things flip flop. I think you know what number 1 is going to be. I gotta be patient, okay? Patience. I can't whistle. Like I'm a horrible whistler. But yeah, I try to whistle the patience thing. But yeah, I can't do it. But anyway, this album. What more can you say? Talked about one of my favorite heavy metal albums. My favorite hair metal albums. Glam metal. Because, you know, they were, I mean, this was the band where you're like, could you call them a glam metal band? Hair metal? That's a big debate. This album, for sure, when they came out, I mean, with the hair, just look at the video. Look at this picture. I mean, they had the hair. Okay, they had the big hair. I think that's the only requirement for basically hair metal, okay? You see the video for Welcome to the Jungle. I mean, they only look like that really on that one video, but then the hair is massive. So, this point in time, I mean, the hair is big. But this album, again, what more can you say? It's fantastic. I mean, top to bottom, not a sinker in the bowl on this album, but maybe a little burnout on this album for me. It's just so many great. I mean, Rocket Queen. Let's talk about Rocket Queen. There's that part in the middle. As legend has it, those sex noises. That was Axl Rose and his girlfriend at the time. I'm sure one of his many girlfriends. I mean, these guys were sleeping with everybody. But that was them like doing it right in the middle of the recording studio. So good. If those walls could talk, to be a fly on the wall. Wow. They were just doing it right, and that's fantastic. So that's a real orgasm there. It's not Donna Summer simulating one on Love to Love You Baby, which is pretty hot. Rocket Queen has like an actual live sex session going on right there in the middle of the song. So great. Rocket Queen. Love that. Gotta mention My Michelle. Actually, it's one of my favorite Guns N' Roses songs. Love that song. That hit, when that hit, that drop, so good. Yeah, not a sinker in the bowl on this one. But I decided I'm going to be different. I changed it, sort of swapped this out at the last minute. I decided to go Use Your Illusion 1. Like I said, maybe a little bit of burnout on Appetite for Destruction. Everybody puts that as a number one. That's the album that if you hate Guns N' Roses, you say they've been living off the reputation of that album. And yeah, when they do concerts now, they're just like, but I listen to these again and just really thinking about it. Use Your Illusion 1. I mean, this was the red cover. I mean, you saw this. Everybody had this record. I used to see like people, like I would go to like a friend's house or something. And even if they weren't even like big, like hard rock fans, weren't big metal fans, they had this record. I mean, this thing was huge. This thing was all over the place. And it was able to endure. Guns N' Roses were one of those bands who were able to kind of hang around after Nirvana blew the hair metal genre away. You know, the party's over. Guns N' Roses were one of those bands you still heard about. They were just, like, they could just keep going because they were just so massive. And what they were doing had a very traditional rock roots. They were Rolling Stones. They were an Aerosmith. They were one of those kind of bands that just, it was good music no matter what. And I think this record has a lot of that. It's got all these different elements of just a classic rock record. But listening to it, like, just again, like for this ranking, it's like, I just think this is a phenomenal record. Right Next Door to Hell, one of my favorite Guns N' Roses tunes. Dig that, so good. Dust and Bones. Live and Let Die, Paul McCartney and Wings cover. That was a big deal. Great. The original Don't Cry, used to hear that all the time. Great video, really cool. So yeah, and it's better than the alternate version. This is the definitive version. This is the first one to release. I was like, yeah, the original Don't Cry, so good. Perfect Crime, one of my favorite Guns N' Roses tunes, so good. Dig that. Double Talk and Jive, November Rain. Wow. Garden of Eden. That's probably what puts this one for me. That is my favorite Guns N' Roses song. So good. When I first heard that song, it's like just so heavy. Axl Rose is singing like 100 miles an hour. That song just comes right out as soon as it hits. Oh, so good. Love that. Love that song. So yeah, I think that's just because I mean, it's real. Oh, how much I love that song. That's what puts this one up for me. Yeah, some great tunes on here. You hear my enthusiasm for this record. Yeah. So yeah, Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion 1. Yeah, love Guns N' Roses. Been wanting to do this one for a while. Of course, I have my Guns N' Roses shirt on. Great band, very popular band. And just one of those bands that they came along, made an impact, and kind of disappeared. But the legacy of this band, they're one of those ones like they were able to endure when grunge took over. And they're still out touring. They're still out doing their thing. Are we ever going to get a new album? Am I going to have to actually do this thing all over again? I don't know. When the new album comes out, we don't know. We got a couple new tunes. They're pretty cool, pretty good tunes. Hard School. That was probably my favorite of the new ones released. Kind of sound like classic Guns N' Roses, but whatever happens, still we got this pretty solid discography here, and really excited to do this. And if you're a Guns N' Roses fan, I hope you enjoyed this. That's it for this week. Until we meet again, this is Brett Strong saying good journey.